What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Morning Tokes. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit up all those links down below. And now we can get into the episode. It is September 22nd, 2020. It is around 7:30 in the morning, and you are tuned in to the best Tuesday morning wake and bake show. Let's get into it. What do we have going on today? I was up this morning, got a little about four articles to kind of go over this morning, kind of dealing with let's just see what we got. We have an article kind of dealing with some mental health stuff, couple articles kind of dealing with some mental health stuff. Then we have like CBD and pets. And then we also have some like legal stuff dealing with politics and cannabis legalization and all of that. So that's what we have going on this morning. Got a few things to get to. A little bit late start. Got caught up doing a couple of things, talking with somebody, but all is good now. Little bit rough start, but all good now. Got my coffee here. It's that Black Rifle coffee, the Fit Fuel. Go to blackriflecoffeecompany.com, man. They got some good stuff. This is the only coffee I've had from them so far, the Fit Fuel. It's like a light medium roast, and it is really good. I'm loving it the last week and a half or so since I've had it. So shout out to Black Rifle Coffee Company, man. And yeah, I heard about them through like Steven Crowder, Elijah Schaefer, The Fighter and the Kid. I definitely know that it was from The Fighter and the Kid early on as well. Now I heard an old promo or whatever, and heard them mentioning Black Rifle Coffee in there as well. Black Rifle Coffee, I'm ready to go. Something like that. So yeah, man, that's what's going on. Shout out to Black Rifle Coffee Company getting me set this morning. Not an ad or anything. I just stumbled across them. A bunch of the podcasts that I listen to use them. So might as well have checked it out, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad my dad went and got it checked out, because next month's roast is going to be roasted on the 23rd. The beans will be roasted on the 23rd and then delivered by the 25th. So you can't get much more fresh than that, man. It's pretty awesome. So what do we have to get into? I have a little bit of this OG. I still have some ground up from the other day that was just chilling in here, and then I got some more in here. Not too much, but a little bit. So take a couple snaps to start out here in just a second, and then yeah, we'll go through that. Got more if we want to grind some more up, and yeah, we'll just get into some of these articles, and we will get into it. But yeah, let's pack up a bowl. Let's pack up a snap here real quick and get it started. Get the wake and bake session started. Get this all packed up. And now we should be all set and all ready to go. Take a couple deep breaths. All right, we should be good to go now. Cheers, everybody. Let's get into it. Should we go back to back? Yeah, let's go back to back. Whew. Good stuff. Just packing up this second snap to go back to back with it. And then we'll get into some stuff, man. We'll get into it. A couple more deep breaths. All right. Cheers, everybody. All right, a good little head change to start out the session. Fit Fuel coffee. I think a little ash got in there, damn. Oh well. All right. So the first article I wanted to get into was through this website, patientworthy.com. And it says Cannabis and Depression, Harmful or Helpful by James Moore. So it's not too long of an article, probably just a few minutes or so. So let's just read it. Let's get into this. It says, according to a story from Medical Express, as cannabis has become more legally tolerated and widely available in the U.S., a greater number of people are using it to help treat symptoms of depression. A recent study has found that from 2015 to 2016, people with depression were twice as likely to use the plant. In the last month, people with depression were twice as likely to use the plant in the last month than they were a decade earlier. In addition, they were 3 times as likely to use cannabis on a daily basis. Unfortunately, the researchers who conducted the study have reservations about using the drug for depression. And I could kind of understand that to an extent. Of course, there just needs to be more studies and, more information about the plant. And I keep saying that almost every episode. We need to reschedule it so we can get these studies done. Because I do think, just for me personally, struggling with depression and some of these things, it saved my life and changed my thought process on things and really helped me when I was at a really low point. But if you build a tolerance to that, it doesn't really affect you like that anymore. Or you have to keep smoking, and then you're like depleting your bank account, which will cause other effects. So it's like, I can kind of understand where they're saying, it might not be good for depression, because it's like, initially, yes, but then over the long term, I probably would think not, because if that was the case, I'd be better, but I'm not. But I don't know. I have other shit going on too, so who knows? Let's get into this. Prior research suggests that cannabis has the potential to exacerbate mental health problems such as depression and anxiety. And what's interesting here, they don't say, is also, I think there's been links to schizophrenia as well. So it can, and I think the schizophrenia is linked to, early usage, like before your brain is fully developed, which is a good portion of people over the last decade or so, I would want to say, but I could be wrong. Again, that's just what I heard, and I remember reading at some point not too long ago. But yeah, to hear it could maybe like exacerbate mental health problems such as depression and anxiety, which I have both. Interesting stuff, because I feel like it can calm you down. It can calm down the anxiety, but again, it just depends on the time, on the situation, on what's going, at least for me. Like, cannabis is like a thing that I always turn to, but it's not a one cure all type thing. Like, it's a good in addition to, or sometimes like it is like, okay, in addition to watching comedy, or in addition to being creative, or in addition to working out, or, there's things that you can accompany cannabis with to help your situation. But if you're like super depressed, unmotivated, not doing anything, and it's just gonna couch lock you and all of, maybe that is what you need. I don't know. I'm not one to say what you need or don't need, but I could kind of see how there could be a problem with it. I think I've been there. Where it's like, I think it's gonna help because it's helped in the past, and it might just be the wrong strain, and it just causing me to feel more sad or more in the mood or whatever it is. I don't really know, but it's kind of a gamble with cannabis at times, and that's why the consistency needs to be there, and it's hard to get consistency in the industry. But yeah, quote, marijuana does not change anything in the underlying brain pathology that contributes to depression, says Dr. Ellie of the Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons. The drug can be effective at alleviating the symptoms of depression, but these effects are temporary. Yeah. The high experienced by users is partially driven by a boost of dopamine in the brain triggered by THC, the component of the drug most responsible for the psychoactive effects. So yeah, that's basically kind of what I was saying, is it gives that temporary fix, at least for me, only at times. Like, it can alleviate some of those, hard symptoms, and just kind of give my brain somewhat of a, not like reset, not recharge, but just kind of go in a different direction type of thing. Like, if I'm focused on one thing, but then it's a gamble, like I said, because then sometimes I'll be even more focused and more heightened on that certain thing that's causing me the pain or whatever. So again, it can go either way for me. So yeah, in effect, the drug is likely used as a crutch, but it isn't going to lead to any long-term improvements. Again, like I was saying, like many other psychoactive substances, users can develop a tolerance to the drug's effects. So the studies finding that depressed people are 3 times as likely to use daily is concerning, because the users will ultimately require large quantities of cannabis to reach the effects they desire. Holy shit, I didn't even read this article all the way, but I called all of that. I said all of that. That's so crazy. I mean, I said it would deplete your bank account, but I mean, that's probably what they're alluding to, is like, yeah, the daily use, you're going to have to keep getting higher and higher and higher. That tolerance is going to go up and up and up and up and up, to the point where it's not gonna do anything, or you're gonna smoke so much before it does anything. And yeah, I didn't realize I was to that point until last year, when I took the month off of October. So yeah, again, that reminds me, actually, this is the second to last episode of Tuesday Morning Tokes until November 3rd. So I'll have one more after this one, and then I'm taking the month of October off. I'll figure out something else to do. Maybe I'll do the running challenge there. Maybe I'll do more game streaming. I don't know. Figure something out. But this is second to last episode. But from last year, I didn't realize how high my tolerance was. I knew I smoked a lot. I knew I dabbed a lot. I knew my tolerance was pretty high. But taking that month off, it was a little over a month. It was like a month and a week and a half, maybe, something like that. And when I had that first little tiny dab, dude, and even like after that, the next couple of days, just having tiny bong snaps, just one, I would just be completely done for hours. And now I'm like taking more again. It's like, man, I can't believe how the tolerance happened like that. But that's why I need this break, is because, yeah, the tolerance just gets too high and it doesn't do much. And you're just constantly trying to chase that and trying to suppress some of these feelings and thoughts and all of that. And it just doesn't work, you know? So that's funny that almost everything I kind of said, they talked about here. There's only a couple more little short paragraphs here. This can also lead to worsened symptoms when the patient is not high, says Michael Wetter of the UCLA David Geffen School of Medicine. While it's possible that the increased use is simply because of increased availability, there is also the possibility that the drug can be part of a cycle that causes depression symptoms to stick around. These risks are almost certainly worsened by daily heavy use. Damn. While cannabis can be temporary reprieve from symptoms, patients should seek out more long-term treatment such as medication or therapy. Well, good thing I'm doing therapy as well. Yeah, there's a whole list of stuff wrong with me, and I know finally, like a year and a half ago, I finally realized I need real help, and cannabis just isn't cutting it. Didn't matter how much I loved it. I still love it, you know, but still one of my favorite things ever. That's why I went the month off last year, and I was like, okay, I could do this again. But I don't ever want to go without cannabis in my life. Like, I'll take the month off, that's fine, and I'll kind of have that as a thing that I do. But I don't ever want it to be, like, out of my life. Like, I love the plant. It's a passion of mine. I've always loved it. It's helped me. It's saved my life 100%. But yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know. But this one, oh, I was saying, so yeah, like, luckily, you know, I love cannabis, everything like that, but I realized for myself, there was some other serious stuff going on, and I really needed to get therapy. And, you know, I'm not really into medication, and I don't know, maybe with some of the stuff that I have, I don't think medication would necessarily work with some of the things that I have wrong. Maybe with the depression, the anxiety, and all that, but the other thing that is there isn't really affected by medication. So I don't know. I don't really want to put chemicals in my body if it's not gonna fix the other. Like, yeah, it's confusing. Like, there's the main thing, in my opinion, that I suffer with. And because of that main thing, it causes the depression, the anxiety, and the blah, 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 the list of things, you know? But if that main root isn't getting fixed, then the depression and the anxiety and all, the medicine isn't going to cooperate. From my understanding, from doing my research on it, it says the serotonin doesn't function properly in people's brains like mine. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Interesting stuff, though. But yeah, I'm gonna continue, you know, using both therapy and cannabis. But it's interesting. I'm telling you, it just needs more studies. It needs more information laid out. It needs to be rescheduled so we can do these studies, do this research. It's needed, man. It really is. It really is. And it's frustrating that, you know, it is so political, and it just seems like nobody really wants to commit, except, you know, I will say the Libertarian Party would definitely. So shout out to Jo Jorgensen. She would definitely, you know, reschedule it, decriminalize it, legalize it, whatever. She's for freedom for everybody, you know? So I'm all for that. Yeah, we'll get into another article in just a second. Just wanted to pack this snap up and get into this. It is a smoke and wake and bake show, so let's get into it. Cheers. All right, so this is from laweekly.com. I swear they seem to have a bunch of cannabis news. Seems like over the last couple of weeks, that's all I've been seeing the cannabis news from. Well, I mean, not all of it, but like a handful. I try not to go to all of them because it seems like, damn, they're just pumping out the cannabis news, but funny. All right, so let's get into this. So, there's like two kind of main types of cannabis. There's the cannabis indica and then the cannabis sativa. And, those are the ones that we're, mostly aware of. There's others variations of it as well, but these are the ones we've kind of come accustomed to for the most part. And I love both, honestly. It just depends on the situation and what I have going on. Like typically I try and, have a sativa in the morning, but when I'm smoking flower, it doesn't really matter too much. So I'll take an indica, like especially the OG. I love it. So, but this is 5 common benefits of sativa strains. Cannabis strains aren't as important as people think they are. Still, some key effects have been associated with sativas, separate from others. As two primary cannabis forms, sativas and indicas, become associated with certain behaviors and effects. However, the value of these definitions has lost weight over time. Their effects are not as clear-cut as the names sativa and indica make it out to be, with experts now understanding the multiple variations inherent in cannabis plants, as well as how these variations impact people differently. Even though sativa strains can change depending on the user, there's few effects that are associated with them. To have more certainty over these effects, your safest bet is to visit a dispensary and have an open talk with your bud tender. That way you can discuss the effects you're looking for and your level of experience with the plant. Here are 5 most popular benefits associated with the cannabis sativa strains. All right. So we will have the first one, creativity. While indicas are associated with body highs, sativas are associated with head highs, which at times can translate to bursts of creativity and thinking outside of the box. These strains tend to avoid any sleepy feelings, meaning that if you feel creative and high, you also won't feel like falling asleep when trying to get something creative done. These strains are a good idea for when you want to do something expressive, whether that's writing, painting, or making a sculpture. And that's true, man. That's why I like to have the, sativas in the morning. It's good, gets the brain going and gets me talking a little bit. And, it's kind of like an addition to the cup of coffee, It's like an extra little jolt. And, my favorite is Jack, a good Jack Herrera, or a J1, but I think it just straight up Jack is where it was at for me for the sativa. Blue Dream was nice, but that was more of a hybrid. It is listed under a sativa, I think, but man, that one always made me feel like really kind of hazy and a little sleepy. But the Jack very rarely ever made me feel sleepy. Like I love Jack. Kind of. That creativity kind of was always sparked with that for sure. Another thing, number 2, motivation. Since sativas are known for their head highs, they're also known for their sometimes paranoid-inducing effects. While these are unpleasant when users have some experience with them and know how to manage them, these effects tend to keep people active and on their feet, motivated to work out, put things in order, and get some work done. Yeah, that can definitely be true as well. There's like some mornings I'll have like a dab of a good sativa and then I'll just start doing chores around the house. Like one thing will lead to another. I'll start with seeing something. I'll be like, oh, I got to wipe that down. Then that'll lead to wiping another thing down, which will lead to vacuuming, which will lead to this, laundry. So it's funny how, and then all of a sudden like 2-3 hours of like chores has been done. Pretty funny. Number 3, anxiety relief. Though most cannabis strains are good for providing some anxiety relief, sativas have the added bonus of helping you stay active. Exercise and movement is a really good way of keeping your anxiety at bay. Again, that's so true. When I like to run, I like to take a nice dab of a sativa about maybe 15 minutes before, and right out, like maybe 20 minutes before, right after that dab, have a sip of water, and then, get my sock shoes on, get ready, and go on a run. And then I just kind of get in my head and I'll just run, depending on what run I want to do. But it really does help. So that's pretty good. Number 4, good for social situations. Again, that's true. We all have experiences with some form of social anxiety, but for some people, the dread of hanging out with others or being put in specific social situations take a big toll on their mental health. I am one of those people. Cannabis is not a cure-all. That said, the stimulating effects of sativa can help people loosen up in social situations, adding a happy boost to their self-confidence that makes it easier to hold conversations with others. Yeah, 100% true right there. I mean, even indicas will kind of do it, but sativas for sure, because it gets you more uplifted and more, just up, I guess. Like, just coincide with all of the other previous benefits, like the creativity, the motivation, the curbing the anxiety, all of that. So, of course, all of that would then help with social situations as well. So, yeah, it's definitely helped me in social situations. Cannabis in general, but sativa for sure. Like, it does. It just makes you feel more at ease without, having that super down feeling of the indica, the heavy feeling. The last one, number 5, we have is euphoria. If you're looking to have a good time and are willing to find stuff to do to keep you busy, sativa should be your go-to. Happiness and euphoria are some of the biggest effects associated with it and are some of the biggest reasons why sativas are some people's go-to cannabis strains. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, I love a good jack. Like I said, it always makes me feel good, calm, happy. I guess that euphoric feeling, depending on how much. Man, I haven't had like a good jack wax or something like that in a long time, or if really ever. I don't know. Like a good jack wax, but that would be great. That'd be really great. Man, that sounds good right now, I'm telling you. But that is the 5 effects of sativas. And yeah, I could definitely vouch for, a good, all of them. Yeah, for sure, all of them. I could say that is true for all of them, at least from my personal experience. So we're just going to grind up this little bit more of this OG right here. A little bit of this. We'll take another couple snaps. I think we have 2 more little articles to go over. It's already about a half an hour, so we will get into it right now after this snap. But gotta grind it up. Gotta get back to that working out, man. And figuring things out for myself. Gotta do it. Today, I gotta do it. Love the smell of the OG. Smells so good. All right, let's get into this snap. All right. Cheers, everybody. I think this is snap number 4 for me, so that's not bad there. Cheers, everybody. All right. This is from issuu.com. Canines and Cannabis. By Amy Orozco. The popularity of CBD for animals is evident by its presence in the pet food aisle of the grocery stores and special sections in dispensaries. Dogs with chronic pain conditions, anxiety, or seizures seems to enjoy the benefits of CBD oil. However, as with humans, proper studies and research on the effectiveness of CBD has not been done thanks to the illegal status of cannabis for so long. There is anecdotal evidence, though. Veterinarians and dog owners report arthritic dogs seems more comfortable and pain-free when using CBD, which typically would have trace amounts, if any, of THC, the psychoactive compound that gives the high. It would be cruel to give a dog THC. Where the CBD is sourced is probably the most important thing to consider when purchasing. Just because Whole Foods or your local health food store sells it doesn't mean it's safe. Best to buy a pet-specific product at a licensed cannabis dispensary. Hemp, from which CBD comes, is a bioaccumulator used for ground cleaning, things like toxic waste sites and oil spills. You wouldn't want to give your fur baby CBD made from tainted hemp. Be sure you are giving your pet a clean and safe product. For dosing recommendations, the best case scenario is a conversation with a cannabis-friendly veterinarian. If that isn't possible, you can reach online. A good starting point is doesn't say. A good starting point is Medical Marijuana and Your Pet by Dr. Richard Silva, DVM. Check it out at wellpetdispensary.com. That's wellpetdispensary.com. So I just thought this one was kind of interesting because my dog loves CBD. Man, so we had it a while ago. We had a bottle a while ago that was given to us. And she loved it. When she would just sit there and just wait for it. When I was like, "Oh, you want your medicine?" She would just come up right next to me and just sit and just put her head up waiting for it. And would just lick and lick till every drop was gone. It was hilarious. She just loved it. And I haven't gotten it a while, but I feel like she's been kind of hurting a little bit the last couple weeks or so. And I told my dad that, and he went to the dispensary and got her some CBD stuff. And I think this one has a small amount of THC, so I don't know. But my dog was a little hesitant at first to try it because she was like, "Oh, what's this again?" But right when she tasted it, she's like, "Oh my God, this stuff again." She just loved it. And it makes her so relaxed and so calm. And I just hope it's making her feel better, some of her pains and stuff like that. So we're trying it, my dog loves it. She at least the taste of it. And these are two different tastes of it. One was a peanut butter kind, and I don't know what kind this is that my dad had, but one was from a regular grocery store, like a Sprouts or a Fraser Farms or Whole Foods, something like that, and this one was from the dispensary. So two different ones, but she loves both of them. And yeah, it's pretty funny. And I just hope it's making her feel better. And I know she's relaxed, she's definitely relaxed with it. It hits her probably within 20-30 minutes, and then she is just out for the night. It's funny. It makes me happy to know that she gets that relaxed, You want your pets, you want your dogs, you want your animals comfortable, man. You don't want them suffering. So it makes me feel bad when she's hurting or like her face looks like she's in pain. And, you know, dogs don't like showing that they're in pain, and it takes a lot for them to do that. So I just, you know, she struggles, man. She's like a little pit bull, and she struggles. We got her when she was like 4 years old from the Humane Society. You know, we rescued her, we adopted her. So who knows her? They didn't know her history. They found her on the streets, you know. And but she was like, you know, yeah, I don't know her past. We don't know her past or anything. So she can be tough with certain things, you know. She doesn't want certain things done. She doesn't want her paws touched or her, you know, her front paws touched. So we can't clip her dew claws, and so it's hard to get her into the vet or any places because she's super pet aggressive or other animal aggressive. So yeah, it's just tough, man. It's just tough, and I just hope, you know, this kind of helps her. So we are trying. So I just thought it was interesting, and wanted to kind of bring that up just because it's, you know, kind of something we're dealing with here as well. So that is what's going on with that. And then we have, oh, come on. Okay, there we go. House Democrats postpone marijuana legalization bill until after the election. This is from LA Weekly. Man, I'm telling you, they just pump out all the news. It's crazy. Moderate Democrats had urged Democrat leadership to hold any marijuana bill concerned with how any votes could affect their re-election. Don't expect any bills that would legalize cannabis to receive floor votes until after the election. The Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement (MORE) Act, which would have effectively legalized cannabis nationwide and expunged marijuana-related records, was scheduled for a vote this month in House of Representatives, but that won't happen until later this year. The MORE Act had become politicized in recent weeks, with Republicans criticizing the Democrat-controlled House for voting on a cannabis bill when Congress still hasn't passed a new round of coronavirus stimulus relief. Moderate Democrats were also concerned how that appeared. Oh, that's super frustrating. Come on, why are we politicizing it? I understand, like, that's not good either, but come on, we need to, like, still just having people sitting in jail for these crimes that should be legalized that you guys are just playing these fucking games with is just stupid, man. Come on. Come on. Oh, that's super frustrating. Quote, at a time when people are really struggling just to pay the bills and to get through this health crisis, COVID relief should be our priority, centrist Representative Scott Peters told The Hill. Peters is up for re-election this year. A group of moderate Democrats had privately urged Democratic leadership to pull the MORE Act vote amid worries how it could backfire at the ballot. Oh my God, I'm telling you, this is all just political, and that's really sad. Like, you're playing with people's lives just because it's politics. That's sad, man. That's super sad. Though House Majority Leader Majority Leader Steny Hoyer removed the bill from the schedule, he said Democrats are committed to voting on the legislation this year. Quote, right now, the House is focused relentlessly on securing agreement to stave off a damaging government shutdown and continue to do its job addressing the COVID-19 pandemic. Later this autumn, the House will pass the MORE Act with strong support as yet another crucial step toward making our justice system fair for all Americans, he said. Oh, we hope so. I mean, I just don't understand why they're making it so political right now. That's really frustrating. It's like, we'll do it later, but right now is not a good time. That's stupid. The move received notable criticism among cannabis advocates who argued that communities that continue to be impacted by federal cannabis policies can't wait for a quote, politically convenient moment. Exactly. Like, that's so frustrating. That is ridiculous to me. Like, yeah, we're going to get to it, but we can't do it yet. Like, God. Oh, it's so frustrating. Quote, unfortunately, this decision means justice delayed for millions of Black, Latinx, Indigenous, and low-income individuals disappropriately impacted by our country's racist marijuana law. Maritza Perez, Director of Office of National Affairs at the Drug Policy Alliance, told the Fresh Toast. We cannot continue to force these communities to wait for a politically convenient moment while they continue to be robbed of employment opportunities, housing, education, other government programs, and even their children or immigration status, she continued. If members of Congress are serious in their commitment to responding to calls for racial justice, then this vote must take place the moment the House is back in session following the elections. And that is that. So everything is all political, and they're just prolonging this, and that's really frustrating, and that makes me really sad about, it's like, it's right there. Just pass it. Like, come on. Don't just say we're going to get to it later, like later this year in the fall. While, yeah, like they said, that like people are still being affected and being impacted by this. And that's just not okay. It's insane, man. Like, people are getting in trouble, and here I am smoking. Like, right here. Like, come on. That's not okay. That's not okay for them to be in trouble and for you guys to just be waiting, on the right moment. Like, that's just insane to me, man. But that is politics. It doesn't matter what side, right, left, it doesn't matter. They don't really care. Only when it's right for them. It's sad. It's sad. I mean, even the Republicans, it's like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, they should be focused on the COVID relief stimulus, the second round of that, which probably isn't coming. But I guess that's the Democrats holding it up. I don't know. That's what it sounds like. But shit, man. The Republicans should pass it too. Like, come on. I understand they should be focused on the COVID stuff, but this is important stuff too. Like, people's lives are at stake. Like, why do they play these games? It's really frustrating, man. Anyway, let's go back to back here. Cheers. I'll get out of here. All right, cheers. All right, everybody. That is all I got for today. I appreciate if you're still listening. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I will be back tomorrow for the Real Word Podcast. Let you know if we're doing an episode of the No World Order Podcast or the IG Live or whatever. That reminds me, go check out at the _ No World Order Podcast on Instagram. Check out all the old Instagram Live TVs, the IGTVs or whatever. Check those out there. Yeah. And that is all I got. Until next time, everybody. Peace.